Hello, my dear children. Children, in the class of AC circuits, we are going to study the behavior of capacitor across an AC source. So, children, we have a capacitor connected across an alternating source. Well, capital V is the RMS value of the voltage of alternating source, and nu is the linear frequency of AC source. We know the instantaneous value of voltage of alternating source is V is equal to V naught sine of omega t. This is the property of the source, AC source. Well, capacitor across an alternating source is an ideal circuit. This is an ideal circuit. Ideal circuit means the circuit which is practically not possible. And it is also called as purely capacitive circuit. This is purely capacitive circuit, and it is practically not possible. So when we connect capacitor across an AC source, well, at any instant, charge Q over the plate of capacitor is going to be C times V, the instantaneous value of voltage connected across capacitor. Well, this instantaneous value of charge Q is going to be, if we substitute the value of V as V naught, we get C V naught sine of omega t. This is the instantaneous value of charge. Well, what is current? I. This current I is always, we all know, is rate of change of charge. So dq by dt, first order differential of charge with respect to time, is current. So the value of current in the circuit is going to be I dq by dt, that is CV naught, and in the bracket we have differentiation of sine omega t with respect to time. And we all know that d by dt of sine omega t is omega times cos of omega t. And if we substitute this value here, we get instantaneous value of current as I is equal to C V naught. Differentiation of this is omega cos of omega t. This is instantaneous value of current. Well, if the value of this cosine function is 1 maximum, then I is going to be what? C V naught omega. So this C omega into V naught is going to be maximum value of current. When this is 1, I is going to be maximum, and that maximum value of current is peak value of current. This is peak value of current. So if we substitute peak value of current here, we get instantaneous value of current as I is equal to I naught cos of omega t. This is instantaneous value of current. Well, this instantaneous value of current can be written as, see, I is equal to I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2. We know sine of 90 plus theta is what? Cos theta. So we have written it as sine of omega t plus pi by 2. Well, why do we write it in sine function? We convert this current into sine function simply because we want to compare the current and the voltage, the phase of current and the voltage. Children, let us study the phase relationship between instantaneous value of voltage and instantaneous value of current, which we have found out. See, sine of something, this something is what is called as phase. Phase of voltage is nothing but the angular displacement of the coil of the generator. So whichever quantity this sine operates upon is called phase of voltage. So what is phase? Phase of V. Phase of V, that is what is omega t. Now let us look at the phase let us look at the phase of I, instantaneous value of current. Phase of instantaneous value of current is sine of omega t plus pi by 2. So this phase of current is omega t plus pi by 2. Now if we compare the phase, what do we say? The phase of voltage is lesser than the phase of current by pi by 2, or the phase of current is more than that of voltage by pi by 2 radian. So this can also be done as, this phase phi is phase difference between voltage and current, which is nothing but phi 1 difference phi 2. So this phase difference between voltage and current, the difference of these two angles is what? Pi by 2. And what can we see? From these values of phases is the fact that I leads. The phase of I is greater than that of V by pi by 2 radian. So we write it as I leads over V by pi by 2 radian. Pi by 2 radian or 90 degree. See, I leads over V by phase pi by 2, or we can transform it and write it as V lags behind I by phase pi by 2 radian. So I leads or V lags means the same. So there is a phase difference of pi by 2, and we need to know this phase relationship between voltage and current, simply because we are going to draw phasors for current and voltage, as we have done in case of resistive circuit. Same way here, in case of capacitive circuit, we are again going to make phasors. Now suppose we make one of the two phasors along, say, initial line. This is one of the two phasors along initial line. Say we make I. Now if we make a phasor along initial line, then we look at the other quantity, and if the phase of other quantity is more than this initial phasor, then that quantity is made at that angle in anti-clockwise direction. And if the phase of other quantity is less than this initial phasor, then that is made in clockwise direction at the same angle, at the same value of phase. So phasors are made keeping in mind the phase difference between the quantities involved. Well, why do we call them as phasor? See, arrow-like representation is exclusively reserved for vectors, but we are making arrows for what? Current and voltage. Neither current is a vector quantity nor voltage is a vector quantity, but still we make arrows for them. So we give them a special name, phasor. And remember, these phasors are made keeping in mind the phase relationship between current and voltage, which we have just understood. So this is I phasor along initial line. Now we have to look at where is V. V lags behind I by phase pi by 2. That means this V has to be made in clockwise direction at an angle pi by 2. This is pi by 2. This is, you can say, minus pi by 2. V lags I by phase pi by 2. So angle lag is made in clockwise direction and angle lead is made in anti-clockwise direction with respect to initial phasor. So these are the phasors for current and voltage, very, very important. And we are studying these phasors because we will study the practical circuits. All practical circuits would be studied with phasors only. So we will carry forward this phasor analysis to higher level. Well, what is instantaneous value of power? Let us find out instantaneous value of power. This instantaneous value of power is going to be instantaneous value of voltage into instantaneous value of current. What is instantaneous value of voltage? Instantaneous value of voltage is, instantaneous value of voltage is V naught sine of omega t. And instantaneous value of current is what? We can write this current. We have written this current in sine form because we wanted to compare the phase of current and voltage. Otherwise, this is also the notation of your current. So if we write I as I naught cos of omega t, it would be fine. We can write this also, we can write this also. So this is instantaneous value of power. This instantaneous value of power is V naught I naught sine of omega t cos of omega t. Now see, we can multiply it by 2 and divide it by 2. Why do we do so? Yeah, we do so simply because 2 sine omega t cos omega t is 2 sine of omega t. This is a very famous formula of trigonometry. 2 sine theta cos theta is what? Sine 2 theta. Therefore, sine of 2 omega t is 2 sine omega t cos omega t. So what is instantaneous value of power? Instantaneous value of power is V naught I naught by 2, and what is this? Sine of 2 omega t. Or we can write it as P is equal to V naught by root 2 is Vrms. Okay, V naught, this is I naught. We write root 2 here, we write root 2 here, and this is sine of 2 omega t. This simply means instantaneous value of power can be written as V naught upon root 2 is what? Vrms. I naught upon root 2 is what? Irms. And this is sine of 2 omega t. Now what is obvious from this result of instantaneous power? See, instantaneous power. One thing that can be noticed with regard to the expression of instantaneous voltage, current and power is the fact that the frequency of power is twice the frequency of current as well as voltage. What is voltage? Instantaneous value of voltage is V naught sine of omega t. Instantaneous value of current is what? I naught cos of omega t. But instantaneous value of power is V naught I naught upon 2 or Vi into sine of 2 omega t. Yeah, 2 omega t. This is 2 omega. So the frequency of variation of power is twice the frequency at which current varies or voltage varies. Well, if we wish to find out the average value of power, if we wish to find out the average value of power, so you already know we multiply power with a very small value of variable, that is time dt. We integrate it say from 0 to t and divide it by say what? The time t. So instantaneous value of power, if we substitute here, we get the average value of power, and this average value of power is going to be what? Vi upon t and then sine of 2 omega t into dt, integration from 0 to t. Even if we integrate it for half the cycle, t by 2, well, it would be t by 2 here, t by 2 here, it would be 2 by t here. It won't make any difference. So integration of sine of 2 omega t dt for time t, that is one complete cycle, is 0. Even for half cycle it will come out to be 0. So what does this mean? This simply means the average value of power across capacitor is 0 without power. This is what is called as wattless. No power means without power. Without power means wattless. So this condition of 0 power is called as wattless, and this is what is very, very important with regard to capacitor. Average value of power consumed across capacitor is 0. Well, let us now see the obstruction offered by capacitor. So what is this obstruction? Obstruction by capacitor. Obstruction to current by capacitor. So this obstruction to current by capacitor is XC. Obstruction to current by capacitor is XC. So what is this obstruction to? Obstruction by capacitor to current. This is XC, and this XC is called as capacitive reactance. What do we call this as? We call this as capacitive. We call this as capacitive reactance. Let us first of all work out a relation for capacitive reactance. Children, we have already written I naught. We have written I naught for what? We have written I naught for C omega V naught. We have written I naught for what? We have written I naught for C omega V naught. And this I naught can be written as, see, this I naught can be written as V naught upon 1 upon omega C or C omega. So current is what? Current is voltage upon what? Current is always voltage upon obstruction. Current is always voltage upon resistance. So we are not going to use the word resistance here. Resistance is frequency independent obstruction. And this term which is in place of resistance is what is called as obstruction offered by capacitor to current, which is capacitive reactance. So current is V upon something, that something has to be what? In place of resistance. That has to be what? Obstruction offered by capacitor, and that is what is called as capacitive reactance. So what is XC? This XC, the obstruction offered by capacitor, is what? Yeah, 1 upon omega C. And this obstruction offered by capacitor, you can see, yeah, omega is what? 2 pi nu. That means XC is going to be 1 upon 2 pi nu C. You can see XC, the obstruction offered by capacitor to current, is inversely proportional to frequency. Frequency. Unit of XC is same as what? Ohm. This is obstruction to current. Unit is same as ohm, as was the unit of resistance. But the obstruction offered by capacitor is frequency dependent, and we call it as what? In general, we call it as reactance, and for capacitor we call it as capacitive reactance. Well, this capacitive reactance varies inversely with frequency. If this is XC, if we plot XC against frequency, we get a graph like this. This is rectangular hyperbola. So obstruction offered by capacitor, yeah, is going to be infinite when we have DC current. So for DC current, for DC source, the current has zero frequency. For DC source, the voltage also has zero frequency. DC current and DC voltage, they are what? Steady, constant. So the frequency of DC source is zero. Therefore, obstruction offered by capacitor to DC current is what? It is going to be what? Something about zero is what? Infinite. That means DC current cannot flow through capacitor. And frequency of AC is either finite. If the value of frequency is mentioned, it is taken as finite, and if frequency is not mentioned, by default we take the frequency as infinite. The frequency of AC is by default taken as infinite until unless it is given. So if frequency is taken as infinite, then the obstruction would be what? Something about infinite is what? Zero. The obstruction by capacitors to alternating current is what? Zero. And if the frequency is finite, then the obstruction is going to be what? Finite. So one thing we can see here, if we look at these two results, we can straightway say that DC cannot flow through capacitor, AC can flow through capacitor, because the obstruction offered to alternating current is zero when the frequency is very high. So this result is very, very important. And what is more important is the fact that average value of power consumed across capacitor is zero. So what happens? What is revolutionary about this result? What is revolutionary about this result is the fact that we can regulate alternating current using capacitor, but at the same time there is no power consumption. Yeah, this is something very, very important. We can regulate alternating current. If we want to halve the current, we have to double what? The obstruction, capacitive reactance. We can double it by changing the value of C. That is the capacitance of capacitor. So we can double capacitive reactance. In the process, we can reduce the current to half. But at the same time, there is going to be no power consumption. So without any power consumption, we can use this capacitor across an AC source. And this is what is something very, very revolutionary about this device in AC circuit. We have already studied capacitor, but we have been studying capacitor across DC source. And the second fact which you have understood here, if we connect a DC source across a capacitor, yeah, this is DC source. Straightway you can say there is no current in the circuit. But when AC source is there, there is current in the circuit. So we'll continue our study of inductor in the next lecture. This is all from my side for the time being. Thank you very much and God bless you all.